Strap in, because the world of overpowered anime protagonists is about to hit different in 2026. This list is stacked. We're talking sequels that fans have been screaming for, brand new titles you've never even heard of, and enough raw power fantasy to fill your entire watch list for months. From hidden identity mysteries to brutal dungeon progression and catastrophic revenge arcs, every single one of these is worth your time. So grab a pen, open that mal, and let's get into it, because it's about to get very exciting. The glorious Skeleton Knight is back, and he's returning for a full sequel in 2026. And honestly, it couldn't come soon enough. This show hits a very specific sweet spot. Already overpowered, mysterious identity, and a visual concept so distinctive it's impossible to forget. The main character wakes up trapped inside his own video game character, except there's a brutal twist. He's not some handsome hero. He's a skeleton. Full armor, zero face, and if anyone finds out what's underneath that helmet, they run fast. But here's what makes it genuinely addictive. It's not just about the power. Sure, he starts the story with maxed out stats, gear, and magic. He's terrifyingly strong from minute one. But the real tension comes from the secrecy. He just wants to live quietly, maybe take some mercenary work, keep a low profile. The universe, predictably, will not allow that. He keeps getting dragged into situations that force him to reveal exactly how monstrous his strength really is, one monster at a time. If you loved Ainzu Gaon from Overlord and that particular flavor of impossibly powerful but playing it cool, then Skeleton Knight is absolutely your next watch. They betrayed him, left him to die like he meant absolutely nothing. And now he's going back, 15 years back, to take everything before they ever get the chance. If that setup alone doesn't get your blood pumping, this next one absolutely will. Tomb Raider King might just be the most satisfying betrayal revenge power fantasy on this entire list. The protagonist, Jun-Wan, is a tomb raider, a relic hunter operating in a world where ancient tombs have suddenly appeared, filled with artifacts that grant supernatural abilities. His employer sees him as disposable and leaves him to die. Big mistake. Instead of dying, Jun-Wan gets thrown back 15 years into the past, before the tombs even exist, armed with complete knowledge of the future. Think about what that actually means. He knows exactly where every powerful relic will appear. He knows every person who will eventually betray him. He knows how the entire world unfolds before anyone else has even seen the opening act. This isn't your typical underdog grinds his way to the top story. This is surgical domination. He outplays everyone from the very first move, taking relics, building power, and dismantling futures before his enemies can even dream about him. Solo leveling fans, this one was made for you. Imagine spending your entire life chasing the one thing you love, failing every single time, and dying convinced you were simply born wrong. That's where our next protagonist starts, and 400 years later, his comeback will leave everyone around him absolutely speechless. The main character, Ethel, dedicates his whole life to mastering magic and never gets there. Not for lack of trying, he simply couldn't crack it. He dies a failure, or so he believes, but he's reincarnated 4 centuries later into a world where magic has faded and degraded, where the knowledge he spent his entire lifetime accumulating is practically ancient scripture. Suddenly, the guy who couldn't keep up is operating centuries ahead of everyone else. What was once mediocrity is now legend. The reason this one works so well is the internal redemption angle. It's not about proving haters wrong or destroying people who doubted him. It's about someone who genuinely believed he was broken and returning to find out the world just wasn't ready for him yet. From the very first scene of his new life, people are going to be completely floored. Expect a lot of shocked faces. Welcome to the failed sage's absolutely unhinged Academy domination arc. Magical Explorer is one of the freshest takes on the isekai power fantasy genre in years, and it earns that distinction by completely flipping the formula. Kyosuke gets reincarnated into his favorite game world, but instead of waking up as the destined hero, he's a side character, a nobody, the guy who exists purely to make the protagonist look better by standing next to him. He is, by design, meant to be irrelevant forever. He has other plans. Using his complete knowledge of the game's mechanics, he trains in secret, masters magic that the main story never even required him to touch, and systematically transforms himself into someone who can rival and eventually surpass the actual protagonist of the world he's trapped in. Oh, and somewhere along the way, he also starts stealing all the heroines. Not by accident, very much on purpose. Magical Explorer is the ultimate I refuse to be a background character story, and it looks absolutely wild. Cannot wait. Every powerful protagonist is out here celebrating their strength, and the Vermilion Mask is proof that the most compelling power fantasy can sometimes be a story about trying to undo the damage power has already done. The main character, his hands did it. He knows that. The rest of his story isn't about revenge or domination. It's about destroying the very source of a power he never should have touched and carrying the weight of what happened every single step of the way. The internal conflict here hits differently from anything else on this list. No hype music, no crowd cheering him on, just consequences. And for anyone craving a dark fantasy that actually takes its premise seriously, the Vermilion Mask looks like the real deal. Black Torch is arriving as one of the freshest shonen entries of the year, and it earns that label immediately. The protagonist, Jiro, is a delinquent with an unusually soft spot for animals and a rare gift. He can actually communicate with them. That ability gets tested hard when he rescues a stray black cat named Reigo, who is secretly a powerful Mononoke, a spirit entity of real destructive force. Jiro gets killed protecting it. Reigo responds by fusing itself with him to bring him back, creating something entirely new. Half human, half spirit, all chaos. What sets this one apart from the usual slow build to power formula is the immediate scope of what Jiro gains. This isn't a slow grind. The fusion gives him devastating abilities right out of the gate. But there's a catch. He has to learn to actually control it, to coexist with a genuinely dangerous entity that now lives inside his body and has its own agenda. The partnership dynamic between Jiro and Reigo is going to be the soul of this show, and it already looks like a must-watch. This next one takes the concept of choosing the hardest difficulty setting in a video game and then actually living it. And I'll be real with you, Hell Mode is not flawless. The animation is at times genuinely painful to look at, but somehow it still pulls you in and refuses to let go. The protagonist Alan selects the maximum difficulty and gets reincarnated into another world as someone with practically nothing. No cheat abilities, no convenient plot armor at the start, no easy wins. His class, Summoner, begins at rock bottom. Every bit of strength he builds is grinded, earned, and occasionally failed at before finally clicking. The reason it works is precisely because of the brutal honesty of its progression system. In most isekai, the main character is unstoppable within the first 3 episodes. Here, you actually feel every step of the climb, and that makes the eventual payoff genuinely satisfying. Season 2 is confirmed for 2026, and honestly, good. More earned power fantasy, please. There are moments in anime fandom that feel genuinely historic, and the announcement that The Irregular at Magic High School is getting a full movie adaptation covering the Yotsuba succession arc with Shiba Tatsuya in full force is absolutely one of them. For anyone who needs a refresher, Tatsuya Shiba attends a prestigious magic high school where he's classified as a failure, placed in the second-tier course because his conventional magic scores don't meet the standard. What those scores don't capture is that Tatsuya operates on a completely different level from every other person in his world, with abilities so far outside normal magic systems that the classification itself becomes meaningless. The school arc already established him as one of anime's most quietly terrifying overpowered protagonists. The Yotsuba succession arc takes everything several floors higher. Political power, ancient family secrets, the full weight of Japan's most dangerous magic clan bearing down on a single arc. This movie is not optional for fans of dominant protagonists, but do yourself a favor and finish the series first before walking in. Not every path to power is explosive. Sometimes the most satisfying journey is the slowest one, and the unwanted undead adventurer understands that better than almost anything else on this list. The protagonist, Rent, is a low-ranked adventurer who gets killed by a fire-breathing dragon deep inside a dungeon. He doesn't get a glorious resurrection. He comes back as a weak, crumbling skeleton with almost nothing to his name. And he has to evolve, literally, biologically, through undead stages one painful form at a time, just to work his way back to something resembling human. Skeleton to ghoul, ghoul to something more. Every single upgrade is hard-fought and deeply earned, and the goal isn't world domination, it's just reclaiming the life that was taken from him. Season 2 is coming in 2026, and if you haven't started this one yet, there is genuinely no good reason to wait any longer. And saving possibly the most unhinged announcement for last, because I got a cheat skill in another world, and that is the full lineup, your complete 2026 overpowered anime watch list. If this video helped fill that dangerous empty space in your watch list, do me a solid and drop a thumbs up. It genuinely helps more than you know. And let me know in the comments, which one has you the most hyped? I want to see the debate play out down there. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.